Hi guys, welcome to another wonderful tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you from scratch how to make a petal sleeve. So whether you're a beginner or not, just stay back and watch this video to the end. So the first thing I'm going to do is to fold my paper in two, just like you see me doing. Then the next from the start of my paper, I'm going to be going down by 3 inches. Then from that 3 inches, I will go down and mark out my actual sleeve measurement. After which, you're going to mark out the lines so that you don't get confused on what you are doing. So the next thing you're going to do is to mark out your sleeve curve. That's from the start point, the 3 inch, which is going to be your start point. You're going to be marking out your sleeve curve. Then after marking your sleeve curve, the next thing to do is to impute your round sleeve measurements at the end of your pattern paper. I added 1 inch seam allowance. So after doing that, I joined the lines together, and then the next thing to do is to draw the cap of our sleeve. So that cap, you're going to draw it, you're going to mark it so that it aligns with your original sleeve curve that you made initially. Make sure it aligns very well. So the cap is going to be giving that puffy effect you see on the petal sleeve. So right now I'm going to cut out the lines I marked. Then I'm going to open my paper just like you see me doing. Then I'm going to draw a straight line to demarcate the one side from another side. Then from the other side, I'm going to be marking 5 inches from the other line. Then from the other side, I'm going to be going in by 1 inch. I'm going to make sure I connect those 2 points together using my curve. If you don't have the curve, you do it gently, but I advise you use the curve to give it that sweet curvy shape that you would like. So I'm going ahead to cut out the lines that I marked out. So after cutting out the lines, you're going to be notching. That notch is very important. You see what we're using the notch to do at the end of this video. So after notching, I went ahead to place it on my actual fabric. This fabric, I'm not going to be folding it. I'm just going to cut 2 pieces for one sleeve. I'm cutting it out, and then I'm making sure I still make that notch on the actual fabric. I went ahead to cut linings for my sleeve. I added hard stay so that it gives it that firm look. So after that, you're going to place your actual piece, your actual fabric, the one piece facing another piece, and then you are going to sew on that seam allowance, the 1 inch seam allowance. You're going to do the same thing for the lining. So after that, I went ahead to join it together, and then I opened it with my iron. I pressed it open. You have to iron it very well. So the next thing you're going to do is to place your actual fabric right side facing the right side on your lining. Then you are going to be sewing it down 1/2 inch all through. So this is the result of what I went to do on my sewing machine. I make sure I ironed it flat. You have to be ironing it on every process, through every process you go. So I also matched it down on the curvy side so that it stays perfect when you are joining your sleeves together. So the next thing I would do is to match the 2 notches I made earlier. So that was why I was emphasizing on making a notch. You're going to be placing 1 notch touching another notch, and then you are going to be sewing it down just like the way I'm holding it. That is how you're going to sew it on your sewing machine. You sew it on one side, you go to the other side and sew it, holding it down firmly. So this is what we get. The next thing we are going to do is to make sure that our sleeve curve is equal to our round armhole measurement. Then our round sleeve measurements, you're just going to make sure all your measurements align perfectly with what you have for your client. So guys, we've come to the end of today's tutorial. So if this video was helpful to you, please like, and if you're confused, don't forget to ask your questions down below the comment section. Bye.